I welcome all of you who are eager to learn good English to this new channel. I'm Professor Sumita Roy, former head Department of English, Osmania University, Hyderabad, India. For the last 15 years or so, you have seen many of my videos on YouTube, and millions of you have been contacting me to help you learn better English. Of course, it has been very difficult for me to individually answer those millions, whether it is by email or WhatsApp messages or text messages, phone calls, which of course are very disturbing. Therefore, I thought this new channel will address all your problems of learning English, which I have come across through your messages. I will try to upload hundreds of videos where all your difficulties can be answered. This will be a self learning package. You don't really need to do anything other than listen carefully, listen repeatedly. Repeatedly means again and again. The same video you can listen, instead of listening to it completely at once, you can listen a little every day, but listen to it repeatedly. Listen to it many times and then practice it. Language can only be learnt by practice on your own. I cannot help you to learn the language because if I try to help, my language improves. I have given many suggestions in the earlier videos which you might have seen, but they are all individual lectures. They were given for a small audience and they were uploaded. I did not know they were for being uploaded on YouTube. They were just ordinary face to face lectures. Therefore, this is a totally new idea. That is why it is called an English classroom. You are in a classroom. I could not have online classes like many of you wanted, but social media today, YouTube today, is a powerful learning tool. We can all use that to our benefit. And I will share whatever knowledge of English I have with all of you through this channel. Therefore, I request you to take all the videos carefully. Whenever you have time, look at the videos and then practice it by yourself. Many of you feel that you do not have anybody to communicate in English with. Then, like we play games like solitaire, all alone, or sometimes chess, you play once white and once the black. Like that, you have to be two people and you have to communicate with yourself. Unless you put into practice whatever I'm going to tell you, you are not going to improve. This is going to be a graded series of videos. The gradation will be like this. For beginners, there will be some videos. These will be interspersed. That is, after a couple of beginners' videos, there will be some videos for learners who are at the intermediate level. There might be many learners who are at an advanced level. For them also, there will be some videos. So the videos will come possibly every day or as often as possible. For beginners, the video title will say beginners, and then it will tell you what part of the beginner's learning is being addressed in that video. Similarly, for the intermediate level, the title will have the word intermediate, and then the item which is being dealt with in that video. For the advanced level, the word advanced will come in front of the video, in front of the title. And then you will have the description of what is there in that video. For people who have specific requirements, you need to look at the title and go to that specific video. But the majority of the millions of people who contact me want to speak good English, want to improve their careers by their knowledge of better English, and they also want to sometimes write good English. So we have the four skills of communication which will be dealt with in the videos. We will have communication at the beginner's level, intermediate level, and advanced level. Communication, as I have told you, very often has four aspects: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Now, listening and reading, one and three, these are the foundation of our communication. For language learning, you need the foundation. For any building, we have to have a deep, good foundation. Then a beautiful building comes up, a huge building comes up. So, your ability to learn English, the ability to build up a nice edifice of English, depends on your foundation. So, what you need to do is you need to improve your listening and reading. So, there will be many videos for listening and reading that will be at the beginner's level, the intermediate level, and the advanced level. All three levels will have listening and reading exercises. But as I told you, just listening to it once or reading it once is never going to be enough. You need to do it repeatedly. Suppose you feel your English is good, do it 5 or 10 times. Suppose you feel, like most of you who contact me, you feel your English is not good. Your confidence is bad because your English is bad. Then you have to do it much more. You have to work harder. You have to devote a lot of energy and time to learning English. But it is not impossible. It is not difficult because we don't learn English as our mother tongue. We learn English as a second or third or fourth language. Therefore, don't get worried. Learning English is not difficult, but spending the right amount of energy and the right amount of time, your motivation is most important. Now, apart from this listening and reading, we have to have exercises in speaking, mainly speaking, because 90% of the people who contact me want to speak good English. So we will devote a lot of time to videos on speaking. And then there are some people, especially those who write a lot, those who work in offices, those who have some creativity, they are interested in writing. So, possibly a few videos on writing also I would try to include. Writing implies editing, it implies drafting, all these things. At the basic level, how to write, that is for beginners; at an intermediate level, how to write; and an advanced level, how to write a more sophisticated English. Now, since we are talking about a language, we have certain skills associated with the language. So, when you connect the language with its content, you have two aspects of the language. One is the meaning, and one is the medium. So, English here is the medium for whatever I'm sharing with you. I'm giving you ideas, which is the content. So most of us listen to the content. Most of you who write to me, the millions from all over the world, not only in India, they say that they can understand the content, but they cannot improve the language. Many times, students who read big books in English say they do not know English. What does it mean? That their speaking and their writing does not correspond with their listening and reading, which means they are listening for content, they are reading for content, they are not concentrating on the language. So, we will devote some videos on all the aspects of language learning at these three levels: for beginners, some language learning, for intermediate level, and for the advanced level. The components of language which are there: for speaking, mainly three components, very important. One is the structure of English. We all have our own languages. India is very rich in languages. But please remember that our languages have a structure which might not be the same as the structure in English. So when we substitute our structure into the English language, we make mistakes in structure. For this, knowledge of grammar is essential. So there will be many videos on grammar because many of you want to learn grammar. In a systematic way, you can learn grammar. But please remember, your 100% accuracy in grammar is no substitute for your using the language. You might know grammar perfectly, but still, while speaking and writing, you might make mistakes. So, again, I repeat what I told you earlier, and that is your practice is most important. Unless you practice, you are not going to improve. So, whatever you learn in the video, you need to practice for 24 hours. It is the story we heard as children from the Mahabharata. It seems young Yudhishthir could not learn more than one sentence per day. His other brothers, all the Kauravas and Pandava brothers, they could learn a full lesson by heart. The teacher said, "You are the eldest. Why is it you cannot learn more than one sentence?" Then this young boy said that I only think that I have learned something if I have practiced it for 24 hours. So if I learn one sentence, I practice it for 24 hours. Also in word and in deed. That is, you say, speak the truth. So you speak the truth for the whole day, and you have a good sentence in English: speak the truth. When you do that, then after 24 hours, you have mastered that part of the language. So, grammar is very important. We shall devote some time. Next comes vocabulary. Unless you know the right words, you cannot speak a language. You need many words in order to put your ideas into speech, into communication. Many students, many learners of English, adult learners also, tell me that they have many ideas in their mind. They can put it very well in their mother tongue. But when it comes to English, they cannot say a single sentence. The ideas are there in the head, it does not come out completely. Therefore, what am I saying again? We not only need to learn words, we not only need to get vocabulary, but we also need to practice the vocabulary. Vocabulary is an important part of communication, especially if you want to communicate at a higher level. If you have a basic vocabulary, you can communicate at the beginner's level. Many beginners have questions about what is this or what is that. So we shall begin with the first videos on beginner's language drill. Look around yourself and you find so many things. Try to name them and put them in the correct sentence form. This is a wonderful way of learning English. Then the two important things that we have in vocabulary is we have a lot of passive vocabulary, which is there at the back of the mind. We have a small active vocabulary, which is there in front of us. It comes out easily when we speak. The passive we can understand, but we cannot use. So, usage is very important in vocabulary. When we talk about advanced vocabulary, usage becomes very tough. The varieties of ways of improving your vocabulary. But if you just learn the word, it is no use. You must, for each new word you learn, you must make 100 sentences. If you do that, then your vocabulary becomes better. You might see how in offices they sometimes write one word in Hindi because they are trying to make Hindi available to everybody who comes to the office. The people who are working there, the people who visit there, read that one word. They learn the meaning, they practice it the whole day. Next day, they can speak that word in any sentence in Hindi wherever they require such a vocabulary. We also require the third aspect, which is important for speaking, is pronunciation and intonation. You might notice that when I'm speaking to you today, I'm speaking very slowly and clearly. That is because I'm not in a conversation with you. I'm trying to explain. So when we explain, our speed of communication is very slow. If I meet any of you face to face, my speed might be faster. So that is intonation. If I ask a question, did you follow what I said? My intonation changes than the one which I use when I say, yes, I followed what you said. So for a question, for a statement, intonation changes. Single word pronunciation is very important because in English we have only written symbols of vowels which are five in number. But when we pronounce them, they become 20 sounds. We have no problem because in all Indian languages, the first line is the vowel sound. We have so many vowel sounds, but there are certain sounds which might not be available in every language which we find in India. Therefore, and of course, elsewhere, many of you who are not in India, who are from different parts of the world, have been watching my videos. So when you watch the videos, compare your mother tongue sounds to the sounds of English. We shall devote a lot of time to pronunciation of single sounds, all the 40 sounds which are there, which are 26 letters of the English alphabet. And then you have words. When you put the sounds together, you have words. When you put more and more sounds together, then the word becomes divided into syllables, where again you have a problem because you do not know how to pronounce them. When I say pronounce, which is a verb, and when I say pronunciation, which is a noun, the spelling remains the same, but the vowel sound, pronounce, ow, pronunciation, none. So these things change, and that you need to learn by learning and practicing pronunciation. Now we come to two aspects of language. We have done three. If you remember, we've done grammar, that is structures, we've done vocabulary, and we've done pronunciation. For each of these, I will put videos at the beginner level, intermediate level, advanced level, so that each of you can learn. Now, suppose who knows very good English but is an English teacher. I get thousands of mails from English teachers. They say, we are English teachers, but still we want to improve. Can you give suggestions? Now, imagine me giving suggestions to thousands of English teachers in thousand different places through thousand messages or mails. That is not possible for me. So, if you want to teach well, if you want to learn from the beginning, although your level is advanced, please start from the beginning. You don't lose anything for going at that level where you watch the beginner's video, you watch the advanced video, and you say, oh, I know all this. That means my English is good. And then you come to the level or to the topic which interests you. If all of us see everything, then we are better informed. We should not say, oh, this is not for me, and leave it, because knowledge, as they say, is power. If you want knowledge of English, you must practice. That is how power is there. Keeping the knowledge in your mind and not using it is of no use. It is like wealth. You have a lot of wealth, but you keep it in a bank, you don't use it. That wealth is a waste. But suppose you use that wealth for the benefit of everybody. Whoever needs it, whatever wealth you might have money, you might have capability, you might have resources. Use it for the benefit of others. That is communication. We never communicate for ourselves. We always communicate for others. Therefore, we improve our communication. So, as I was telling you, these three are for speaking, very important. But for speaking is not the only skill which we are going to do. We are also going to do writing. And for writing, what you require is punctuation and spelling. Very often, parents of school children get in touch. School teachers also sometimes get in touch. They have many doubts about spelling, how to learn spelling, how to learn punctuation, what is to be done. The rules are there. There are many exceptions to the rules because English spelling is a little difficult. It is slightly different from its pronunciation. It is not like some of our languages where spelling and pronunciation go together. So you have to be extra careful in spelling. And we will do many exercises on spelling. And then punctuation. You write a sentence, you have to punctuate it. While speaking, punctuation comes with a breath. You see, at the end of each sentence, I'm stopping for a long time. When I'm uttering a sentence which requires more than one part, I'm stopping for a small time. In writing, you cannot stop like that. You cannot leave a gap. So you have to punctuation. It's a small stop within a sentence, you put a comma. It's a long stop at the end of the sentence, you put a full stop. It's a question, you put a question mark. Where to do all this? How often to do it? What is the mistake which we make? These things are important for punctuation. We will learn all these things in a very systematic way in three levels, and that is the beginners, the intermediate, and the advanced level. I have repeated this very often so that all of you get the idea that this classroom is going to be a ready-made package of learning which you will have to go step by step. It is not learning by jumping from the ground floor to the first or second floor. You can't do that. You have to climb the steps one after another. So each video will be one step ahead. And the more videos you watch, the better it will be. I have encountered many people, sometimes face to face, who never contacted me either by email or messages or WhatsApp, who came up to me in programs and told me, "We have watched your videos and now we have got a very good job. Now I can give a lecture in English." So these are the silent learners, what we say the ekalavyas of our system. They are quietly learning by watching the video. I would like all of you, the millions of people who are interested in learning English today, to be like that. You silently watch. If you have a doubt, you can put it in the comments part here. And of course, if you subscribe to the channel and if you press the bell icon, you will know that a video is getting uploaded. Those who are sincere in learning English will learn excellent English. That is what my experience of more than 45 years of teaching English tells me. So don't hesitate. Start your journey of improvement today itself. I wish you all the best and hope to see you almost every day from now till we have sufficient videos to meet all your English requirements. Whenever you have a question and you put it in the comment box, no use mailing, etc., because I don't have time to answer, then I will try to make videos which will address these problems. Many of the videos which will follow will be based on the problems which have come to me for the last 10 years via, you know, email or messages. I will try to address all of them. And in this way, we shall come to a good classroom of English, which I hope will be useful to all of you. Thank you.